Welcome in Korea. We are here in Jeju Island, but we did a nice little road trip from the north to the south of South Korea. Obviously not from North Korea, but from Seoul. So we first flew into Seoul, then we went to Busan, then we went to Jeju Island, where we are now. Unfortunately, not amazing weather, but in Seoul there's a lot of places to visit. Obviously you have Hongdae and a lot of the amazing areas there. Then you can easily take a flight or a train to Busan, which is pretty nice. Always nice to have a train experience to see how people go from one place to another, and especially like comparing trains, how things work, how to buy tickets and so on. Busan is also very nice. There's quite some spots to visit. We were lucky with the weather, a lot of food, a lot of partying if you want. Then obviously Jeju Island, one of the only big islands in South Korea, so it is a good spot to be. We did a whole little road trip around here with the car, and then we are now flying back to Seoul to explore more. But beside that, a very nice itinerary to visit a bit of different places, which we like. We definitely liked South Korea. It was really an experience I didn't really expect. So we flew into South Korea, Seoul, the capital city, but we didn't stay too long because we decided to directly move on to Busan. And the train to Busan is obviously a famous name because of the movie, but the trip was pretty nice. I think the price was also not that expensive. It was only like 3 hours. We arrived and we had a very nice hotel room, and then we went on looking. So we just arrived here in beautiful Busan. You have like an amazing bridge and also an amazing beach here. Want to find a hotel close to the beach, you will need to enter here and go inside. So we did have a quite nice hotel, and you have to find a bit the entrance, that's why I mentioned it. We also had a nice view from the top there of the city by night. I would definitely recommend to go to those viewpoints in Busan, because Busan, the city itself, is quite dense, and it is a very nice view to see the city by night with all those lights. It's very romantic. Another thing we did quite a lot was take taxis. You do have to install the local taxi application, because I think Google Maps and stuff doesn't work, so you need also a different application for navigation in general. And then we went to this attraction. It's not really an attraction, but it's a train ride, which is quite famous on, let's say, TikTok and Instagram. So my wife wanted to do it, so obviously I will do it too then. And it was quite romantic. It's a little train box for 4 people, but you can definitely go with 2 people and enjoy the ride. So it was quite fun. I must say it's quite unique. So if you have the time, definitely go here and have a visit. It's like one of those things you should do, because it's one of the main things to do. The view was quite nice, and you can also take a normal train, and you can also even just walk. We didn't do the normal walk, but people say it's quite a nice walk. So you can take the train, you can take these little boxes back and forth, whatever you like, or you can move on and take a taxi and go somewhere else, what we did and which I will show here in a minute. So definitely recommend, and again, it's one of those quirky things that only exists really either in Disneyland or in Korea. So it was quite fun. So let's go to myself. So we arrived in Korea! So what do I think about Korea? I think it's pretty much what you can expect. It's like the Western world where I come from, Europe, but just like the same kind of standard of living, but just totally different. So it's different kind of foods, different kind of ways of talking to each other, looking at each other. Obviously the language, the signage is different, but it feels very comfortable, and it is very nice. So as I said, the most fun thing about Korea for me was that it's really like a different world, right? So it's the same kind of standard of living, but totally different. So it's like an alternative dimension. I think the same is for Japan. A lot of different foods and people, but it is definitely very nice. The interesting thing about South Korea compared to Japan, in my opinion, would probably be that South Korea is very Americanized, but in a different way. It's like they have been in our dimension, but they have also been in another dimension, being the Japanese culture. So it's a mix of American and Japanese culture. So it's not as fine-tuned as Japan. You can also see it in the temples. Well, there's not so many crazy temples. This one was pretty nice. It's also very close to the main city. Definitely recommend, but a bit too busy to my liking, so it was very crowded. But it was a nice spot to go to because it shows you how Korea was in the past, and these are like old remnants. It is a very picturesque place. I think you could make a very nice movie out of it. We also had a very nice hotel here with a view on this bridge. It was quite amazing, and sorry for the glare on the lens. And in a bit I will show you here a bit how you can look at people, right? This was like an old tank station, and we looked at some people. I do like to people watch, so sorry for that. It's just fun to eat your little food at the 7-Eleven, which is very common in Korea. We went up to this nice village, a very famous, colorful village, and it reminds me of the favelas in Colombia. It's very similar, besides the fact that it's safe to walk there and you're not going to get kidnapped or shot. So it is interesting to see how these type of favelas like came to be, because it would mean that also there was, most times these favelas are not for the rich people. So at some point this must have been some kind of more lower class area to live in, but definitely now it's very touristy, very popular, and probably these houses are worth quite some money just because of the location. So it is quite nice and it's quite unique to see, so I definitely like this. And now it's time to go to Jeju Island. So that was one of the spots I wanted to go to for sure, because it is a bit more nature. So this was my must-do. We found like a very nice restaurant here, which I definitely recommend going to. It is also very famous on the social media, but it is very much worth it. It's not overhyped. Also, these hills are very famous for Jeju Island. These formations. It was also quite nice. Not too many people for some reason. And also the coastline was so nice. Just to be there and to view the coastline was very nice. And I would definitely recommend to view and go to the coastline because it is quite empty. We also found this empty park, like a fun park, which was kind of interesting to see, because as you can see here, like the old school Mickey Mouse, if you can even recognize as Mickey Mouse, was a bit creepy, but it is a bit how Korea is. It is a bit funky, a bit weird, and that makes it so interesting to visit. And then this is how the island looks like. So you have a big mountain, or like mountain in the middle of the island, and then you have quite a few spots you can visit. So this island is really touristy for Koreans, so that's why you will really see a lot of Koreans, which is very nice. They also have quite a lot of quite spectacular waterfalls. Also, we were not so lucky with the weather, but I must assume when the sun is out you can go to the beach too much times, and it's probably a very nice spot. But because it is it is an island, so most islands are a bit unpredictable weather-wise. We also went to these I think it's lava formations, which are quite impressive to see the water go into it. It reminds me of Iceland, which also has these kind of formations. So it's a very nice spot, definitely recommend, and the prices for these spots are not too crazy expensive. Also, we went and looked for some nice restaurants. We did find some very nice places, some not all too good, but some quite good. And yeah, the pizzerias and stuff were kind of good. So definitely recommend to snoop around and find some nice places to eat. Then this place where we went to, where I also gave my first little introduction of this video. It's a very nice peak, also nice to go hiking and having the viewpoint from here, which was quite a good trip. not too many tourists, but a very nice view, and we really enjoyed it. It's a good exercise, so I must say it's not for everyone. I think if you're really old, you're definitely not going to do this. But again, here, so many Koreans who we met, not too many tourists for some reason. I think most people just go to Japan or something, because there were not a lot of tourists here, and that's of course really nice. And the view, as I said, is quite amazing. It's quite relaxing to see, and again, the Koreans you see, it's just fun to watch people. You can also go to these areas around the island, which are quite empty, quite a lot of place to go relax and to swim if it's weather is a bit better. It was still hot there, to be clear. You can even go horse riding, but it was just rainy a bit, which is not too fun to do swimming. So here is another place in Jeju. We just arrived in this place. It goes for around 60 euros a night, and it's a hotel, obviously, with fridge. They have some glasses, a little sink, a nice little table to work, which is always handy, very spacious bed, and a very big TV. And then obviously the reason why we booked this is a very nice jacuzzi like tub. Not the best view for us, unfortunately. Also, the weather is not amazing. Anyway, very nice jacuzzi, which we will use for sure. And then a little bathroom and toilet and shower. Also very nice shower. Can easily fit 4 people. Very low sink. I cannot reach it almost. But anyway, that's not important. Very good deal for, I think, 60 euro a night. Cannot complain. So I definitely recommend that place. But now it's time to move back to Seoul. We took a flight, of course, to get back, and we still had a week left in Seoul. And I must say, there's quite a lot of things to do in Seoul, and even the flight is quite impressive to fly over all of these buildings. You can, for some reason, see it's some kind of Asian vibe or Korean vibe. We found a very nice barbecue place, which I would definitely recommend you to go to. And it has like a very small kitchen with a barbecue, very small place, but very authentic. Obviously, we went also in the city, had a look at nightlife in Seoul, and then we found this amazing spot, which was very nice. They revamped some kind of canal to some kind of futuristic post-apocalyptic vibe, which was truly amazing, with a little water array in the middle, and then some grass. Just a very nice walkway. This is, for me, what a lot of European countries also could do. You could argue that it's maybe not as efficient like transportation wise, because you can only literally walk or bike. And I would love to see the water be used also for maybe some boating, small boats. That would be amazing. But there were real fishes in there. Close to it is also like a market, a very famous big market with amazing food. They also told that there was some kind of Netflix show shot in one of these shops, which is now famous, which is kind of funny to see that everyone just comes to one of these shops because it was in the show, but you have like 100 of the same ones. Then we went to the big tower, one of the highest viewpoints of Seoul, and you can take a cart that we took, like a big cart with a cable, and a cable cart, yes, that's how they call it, which was quite amazing. And as you can see, it's like the television tower or network tower, I don't know how to call it. It's also a place to put your locks if you want to be very romantic. But the view from Seoul up here is definitely nice. The sunset was very nice. A lot of people, so don't expect to be alone there. But yes, it was a very nice viewpoint. We didn't go to, for example, the border with North Korea. And looking at these images, I really don't mind not going there because we did so many things inside the city. But still, if you want to do something else, it could be a good thing to also go to the border with North Korea if you can still do it. Another thing we did was this water show. And this was quite unique. I've never seen anything like this. It's like a water fountain show on this bridge. Then we also got some food inside one of the more small places in Seoul. I mean, small places like small houses where the food is so cheap. We found food for like 5-6 euros, which is very cheap for Seoul, and I really enjoyed this place. It's like you can even see it, like 5,900 won. It's very cheap to find, so definitely recommend looking for some more off the grid places and not only the city center and the famous places. Next up we go to Lotte World. So we are here in Lotte World. Woo! It's a beautiful day here in Lotte World. We have the Lotte Tower and all the beautiful Lotte attractions. So Lotte World is some kind of Disneyland for Korea. I don't know why they didn't just do Disneyland here, but I guess Lotte is a famous brand or a famous company in Korea, and they build their own theme park, which is kind of funny. The last day we also had some rain, which is kind of nice because seeing Korea in a rainy day also gives a different vibe, and especially with the lights, it's quite amazing to see. So I did enjoy that, and it was kind of raining a lot. The day after we went back to this little futuristic post-apocalyptic renovation of a canal, which was truly amazing. This time I also saw a lot of the fishes. It was very nice to see. So I continue my story here, and we went back to this market because it is an amazing market. We went with a friend and it was very nice to see and to eat again some food here and just have a seat and look at all the food that was made. Yes, sometimes you have to look and see that you make sure the food you eat is made freshly. There was also some famous dough pastry that people wanted and were waiting in line, so it's somewhere on the edge of the market, so for sure go ahead and have a look. And I think, yeah, here they are making it. It's just like a fried dough pastry, which was very nice, I must say. It was definitely worth the wait. We had to wait like maybe 10 minutes. So this was close to our end of our trip. We had to go back, but one of the last things we wanted to do is go to some street market and some food we found here. It's always nice to eat the food from these markets. And literally in Korea you can go any corner and you will find some kind of street vendor and some local street food, which is nice as a tourist because you can not spend too much money. The prices in South Korea, especially in Hongdae and so on, were quite good, so you don't have to spend too much really, which is interesting because sometimes it's a bit more expensive, but most of the time it was not too expensive. And then the last thing we did before taking the flight was going to a cat hotel, and honestly it's a must do if you're not a let's say cat hater. This is very nice to do. I don't have cats, but I really like to pet them. And if I had the space and the time, I would get a cat. It's quite funny to have all these different types of cats, but that was also the end of our trip. South Korea, I definitely recommend people to go there. Yes, Japan is probably nice, but South Korea is definitely a good challenger to have a nice trip. Thanks so much for watching till the end. See you next time. Bye.